Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy, and today I just want to talk. I just want to ramble. I used to watch Kathleen Lights here on YouTube, and she had these videos called Random Rambles where she would just sit down on camera and just ramble. I loved those videos because it kind of gave you a glimpse of what was truly going on in her life. Because I do find I don't typically do things for YouTube. I just share my life, I just share my groceries, I just share things like that. So it's not like I create something so that I will have a YouTube content. If I have content, I have content. If I don't, I don't. But I've been having a hard time doing like a structured sit down video, like based on one subject for a while. And I think maybe there's something wrong with this shirt. Let me explain. Let the random rambles begin. So back in March, I sat down, I put this shirt on, I got dressed. I even took a photo for the thumbnail with this shirt on, and rainbow and green were my colors for the month of March. If you guys remember, in January and February, I did 2 videos about self-care and outrageous self-care and the things I plan on doing this year to really care for myself. So I sat down to the March video. As a matter of fact, I had this same mug, didn't even realize it till I just pulled it out right now. And this shirt, because I wanted to just kind of sit down and tell you what my plans were for March for outrageous self-care, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not sit down and talk to you guys about it. I could not bring myself. I thought, well, maybe it's because I don't have an outline, which I didn't have an outline for the other 2 videos, really. And so you guys, I couldn't do it. It felt like I was just choking, and it wasn't that I was nervous. I'm not nervous to be on camera. I'm not nervous to talk to you guys. I'm not nervous to share things. It wasn't that. It was just that I just did not want to share it. I just wanted to be it. I just wanted to practice outrageous self-care. I didn't want to talk about it. I was still doing so many things, and like having colors of the month, wearing certain things, and eating certain foods, and listening to certain types of music. I was doing all those things, but I just didn't want to talk about it. I just did not want to talk about it. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because today I got dressed to sit down to do a booktube video. Right now, I'm supposed to be telling you about all the books that I read in the month of August. And I have my list of books that I read here. And right here, I have a stack of books to talk about. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do an entire video about books. I just don't want to do it. I had set myself up Saturday to sit here and film a makeup tutorial. And I sat here, I came and I put everything up, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. And I ended up just doing makeup in the bathroom. That video should be live before this one, to go over my friend Courtney's house. When I got to Courtney's house, they were like, how you do your makeup like that? So we had an impromptu kind of makeup tutorial sitting in Courtney's living room. It was so much fun. It was not a part of the plan, but they liked my makeup. They want to see how I did it. And then Courtney said, you should be doing this on your YouTube channel. And I was like, yup. I just don't want to do it. I'm at a very weird stage in my life, so let's talk about it, because I feel like you guys are probably all my same age. Speaking of my age, I've been lying to y'all all year. Let me tell y'all what happened. The other day, I had to go to the doctor, and I had some paperwork in my hand to take to another place, and the paperwork said Tracy, had my name, had my date of birth, May 11th, age 47. And I was like, I'm not 47, I'm 48. How could this electronic system, how could this computer get my age wrong? And I was like, how do they have my correct date of birth, but they have my wrong age? That don't make sense. And I was like, am I 48 or am I 47? I pulled out my phone, opened up the calculator, did 2021 minus 1974. And I am 47 years old. I've been telling y'all all year that I'm 48. There's that. So next year when I say I'm 48, y'all gonna be like, this bitch been 48 for 2 years. No, I'm 47. So I'm just kind of at an age where I feel like I'm finally coming alive. I don't feel like I'm searching and looking for who I want to be or who I'm trying to be. I feel like that person is manifesting and showing up every single day. And it's weird because YouTube is my absolute favorite platform, and I do not plan on leaving YouTube at all. I feel like now I finally have something good to share, but I don't want to share it. I just want to live. I don't want to talk about outrageous self-care. I just want to outrageously care for myself. Let me explain a little bit. So back in March, like I said, I stopped sharing with you guys the goals and the things that I wanted to do. But I went deeper into practicing self-care. And now I'm at a place where I'm doing really well. I have Green Chef delivered every other week. So I am learning to cook way more plant-based meals. And I am loving it. Green Chef is really opening my palate to different things. I am going to the gym. The gym here in my apartment opened last month, and I've been going 3 days a week and spending 15 to 20 minutes on the elliptical, and that's it. I just come on out. And I have been taking better care of my skin. I'll talk to you guys about that. I've kind of got a few makeup looks that I love. This is one of them. I've been keeping my home much more neat. I've gotten way off track with my budgeting. I now don't have an emergency fund at all. This is not something I'm bragging about at all. The other things, yeah, I'm proud of myself. I'm not necessarily proud of this budgeting thing. However, this is the month of September, which is really when I kind of get myself back on track anyway. So I am doing a no spend this month, but I'm not going to vlog it. I'm not going to share it. I'm just doing it. One thing that I realized now is that I'm not happy with my budget planner at all. I do not like it. I'm going to have to go back to the Erin Condren as much as I don't want to. That is when I felt like my budgeting was the best, and I just don't like this planner that I have. Also, I don't do budget videos here anymore, and I made all of my budgeting videos private because I don't want to talk about my budget anymore online. I don't want to do trash talks. I don't want to save my garbage for a month to talk to you about it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do none of that. I just don't. I don't know what's happening. My therapist is not concerned, so I'm not concerned. I'm just living. But I wanted to talk to you about it because maybe you guys are going through the same thing too, where those things that used to interest you don't anymore. You know what just clicked in my head literally the moment I'm saying this is that I'm just literally growing up. And I just don't want to do those things that I've always done before. I want to live a different life, and I have started living a different life once I started taking care of myself. The one thing that I just mentioned that I want to get back right is my budgeting, but other than that, you guys, I'm happier. I'm dating a little bit more. No one specific. I'm never going to share with you guys who I'm dating. Never. If I get married, I probably would never share my husband. If I live with someone, I probably would never. That's not something I've ever shared, even in my personal life. When I'm dating someone, no one knows except my cousin Paula. And I typically only tell her when I go on a date, just so I'm safe. Like if I get into a Lyft, I send her the information of the Lyft driver. If I'm going on a date with someone, I send her like a photo of them what all I know about them. I send her that. I don't share that. I've never done that even in my personal life. That's just not something that I do. But I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a good time. Um, I don't know, guys. I feel a little bit like this video may be a little bit of, are y'all okay with just the vlogs? Because that's all I really got. Just all I got. That's all I got in me. Honestly, the last 2 times I went to the grocery store, I didn't film that. I plan on going to Trader Joe's Friday. I'm not going to film that. I'm not. I'm going to go to work Friday for the first time. I'm going to get off work and I'm going to go down their street to Trader Joe's because it's closer to my job. And I'm going to come home and I'm going to disinfect them groceries and I'm going to put them away. I just, I'm changing. I don't think I'm going through the change, but I'm changing. And things that used to just interest me don't interest me anymore. Or I want to do those things in a new way. I have a whole list of books here to talk about. I don't want to talk about all of them. I want to talk about a few, though. I want to talk about 4. I think, yeah, a total of 4. So I'm going to start with the audio books. Everything was an audio book for me this month, even though I have 2 physical books I want to show you. So 2 of the audiobooks were by the same author, Cold Morning and Butterfly Kills are by Brenda Chapman. They're the Rouleau and Stone Child Mystery Series. They're set in Canada, which was really nice to listen to someone talk about the different Canadian terrain. These are murder mysteries. Trigger warnings, trigger warnings, trigger warnings, all up and through. There is some child abuse in there. There's some domestic violence. There is some sexual assault. The trigger warning. I go by titles of books, so I didn't read the trigger warnings, and I'm always be like, girl, what? You should have read that trigger warning. But this series is so good. I did 2 of the, I think it's 7 or 8 books in the series. I definitely have to give myself a break before I go to the 3rd one. But these books are so good. I really, really enjoyed them. So if you love a good murder mystery, and you're not triggered by several things, or you have a safe space to read them in, this was just a really, really good series. I cannot wait to go on with it. The first book tripped me out. I was like, I did not see that coming. Like the killer, I didn't see that coming. But there's something that she alluded to in the first book that she didn't allude to in the second book, even though it's a true series and it is in chronological time. She didn't allude to it in the second book. And I was like, I wonder if that thing is still on the table, if she's going to bring it back later in the series. But that's another reason why I want to finish the series, because I'm like, if she brings that back, like, that was a very interesting little twist to the storyline. So I thought that was really, really good. So I enjoyed both of them. I'm going to see, what did I give them? Okay, I gave them each 4 stars. Then I told you guys about this in one of the blogs that I recently put up. This is The Passenger by John Mars, and I was suggested this by Nakia from Nakia's Hideaway. I will link her in the description box below. She's one of my favorite booktubers here. Listen, this book made me think of so many different other things. The first thing that popped in my mind about this book was the movie The Net with Sandra Bullock. Do y'all remember that from back in the day? That old movie. It was like when internet first became accessible to everybody, and then they did this movie called The Net. Yeah, that movie was so good. Have you guys seen the TV show The One on Netflix, the series? They had a smidgen of The Net in here. And then they had a smidgen of the books, 2 books, Lock Every Door and When No One Is Watching. Those 2 books are literally the exact same book. When No One Is Watching is by Alyssa Cole, and Lock Every Door is by Riley Sager. They have the exact same premise. Those 2 books, if you haven't read them, they're so good. If you read one, it's the same premise as the other one, but I think they're both good books to read. I think you will get a different perspective in the same kind of genre out of both books. I love both of those books, so those are good. So I had a hint of that in this one. The Passengers is a psychological thriller, and there is instead in the UK, where there are driverless cars, where the government has outlawed human driving cars, and so they have this jury that whenever there's a car accident, there's this private sequestered jury that has to make the decision if it's the car's fault or if it's the like human error, right? So in the process of this jury, there's someone who hijacks 8 cars, 8 different passengers, and they're broadcasting live the inside of these 8 cars, and they're also broadcasting live the jury room, and this person is anonymous somewhere where you don't know where they are, who they are. And so it gives you the backstory of these 8 people that are locked in these cars, and the public has to decide who lives and who dies. And at a certain time of the day, all the cars that are left are going to collide, and those people will be dead anyway. So these people kind of have to plead their case while they're inside of these cars, if they live or if they die. This is the best book I've read in 2021. This book's so good, y'all. Y'all, this book's so good. No, this is not the best book. I'm lying. This is the second best book I've read in 2021. Because the 7 dresses of Evelyn Hugo is the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo is honestly the best book I read in 2021. Have y'all read that? I don't even have it to show y'all, but holy shit, that book is so good. And so this book was the book I was supposed to read in March. I never did finish it in March. As you can see, I have little tabs in this book. My friend Lauren told me about this book. Lauren was like, oh my God, Tracy. She doesn't sound like that. She's like, oh my God, Tracy, you have to read this book. She does not sound like that. She does not sound like that. Anyway, she's like, gotta read this book, Tracy. I was like, okay. And so I picked the book up from Amazon, and I just had it, and I read the first few chapters in it, and I messaged her back, and I was like, this really is a good book, Lauren. I can't wait to really delve deep and get into it. Well, I decided that in the month of August, that I would finish it. You guys, this, honestly, I was talking to my friend Janine about this book the other day, and I was like, Janine, this book is so good that I don't want to tell people that I read this book, because then they will know me. This book has so many words in it. And I know it's a strange thing to say. The reason I picked up, I was like, God damn, there's so many words in this book. And I really felt that way because I was resonating with every word. It's very rare, especially kind of this is like a memoir. I don't like memoirs, first of all. I still have not made it through the Michelle Obama memoir, and I own it. I can't bring myself to even think about reading the Barack Obama memoirs. I just don't enjoy memoirs. This book, though, every word of this book, I felt somehow connected to. Even when she was talking about, the author, Glennon Doyle, was married to a man. Now she's married to a woman. And she was just talking about that. She was talking about raising her children. She was talking about being raised in religion and how religion really shapes you. She was talking about women and how we think and how women are advertised to versus how men are advertised to. She's talking about so many different subjects, and I resonated and agreed and felt a kinship to all the words. So many words that I was like, how many words are in this book? And I Googled, and there are over 99,500 words in this book. I am so happy I own this book. I remember the first time I read the book, The Four Agreements, and it immediately set me free. Oh, I could cry right now thinking about the first time I read the Four Agreements. I just thought, okay, I don't have to live this oppressive religious way. I don't have to stay miserable forever. I don't have to. And that's how I feel about this book. Okay, now I am changing. I am growing up. I am feeling different about life. I feel free, and it's actually okay. Now that I read this book, I feel like, okay, now that I'm free, when I read the Four Agreements, it's okay to be free. It's okay. This is one of the best. I'm so happy I own it. I'm so happy I own this book. I'm going to read one little paragraph to you in this book. I'm going to try to read it without my glasses. Let's see if we can do this. Even though I'm 47, not 48, my eyes didn't go back a year. Okay. So we've been talking about self-care all year, and I keep telling you guys I'm determined to have the life that I want no matter what. Who stays, who goes, I don't care. I'm going to have the life that I want. So got through all these pages and all these words in this book, and the very second to last chapter, not the last chapter, the second to last chapter, and these chapters are really quick. Some of the chapters are like a page and a half. She's talking about her life, and she's talking about kind of what I've been talking about all year, and then she goes, okay. She's talking, there's a moment where she's talking about, at the beginning of the book, about a really good friend of hers that was in hot yoga. And when the instructor came into the room, she told the class that they couldn't leave the room. They had to stay there. If they got too hot, if they got to whatever, that was the purpose of the class, that all of the fear and all the everything was leaving them. And she was talking about her girlfriend who was literally having a panic attack in this room, but she was afraid to say anything to the instructor, and she was afraid to leave the room. So when the instructor said the class was over, she shot out of the room to get some air, and then she ended up kind of like, I think she threw up in the bathroom. Like, she was just having such a hard time in this hot yoga class. And then she goes, the door wasn't even locked. She could have gotten up and left their class anytime she wanted to, but she was like, why did I do that? Why did I stay in that room and just suffer for that period of time? And then Glennon says, I will not stay. I will not stay, not ever again, in a room or a conversation or a relationship or an institution that requires me to abandon myself. When my body tells me the truth, I'll believe it. I'll trust myself now, so I'm no longer suffering voluntarily or silent or for long. Honestly, that's just how I feel. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and me being on my self-care journey she's having a lot of side effects from it. She whenever I'm gonna put my phone on airplane mode, I will send her, I don't even say I'm gonna put my phone on airplane mode. Let me tell you how lazy I am about putting my phone on airplane mode. I just sent her an airplane emoji. And she sent me back the middle finger emoji. And then when I do come off airplane mode, I call her, I'm like, hey, I'm back. And she goes, I really hate that fucking airplane. I'm like, I know. But me taking care of myself a little bit more, she is taking care of herself more too. And she definitely saw me taking care of myself in action versus talking about it when she and I went on our weekend trip to Chattanooga. We had some deep conversations as well as I just am a certain way now. And she has really, without me even telling her anything or teaching her anything, like she doesn't watch my videos anymore, which is fine, but when I'm tired of talking, I just say I'm tired of talking. When I want to eat without talking to her, I'm just like, I'm eating, I'll call you later. I am very steadfast in taking care of myself. So she's feeling some effects, and she's been really taking care of herself a lot different lately, and she's been showing up in every one of her situations in her life very differently, and she is slowly every day becoming happier. It's so cool to watch her go through this transition. But the other day, she was talking about something. She said, I'm not afraid of this, and then I'm not going to tell you the subject we were talking about. But she's like, I'm not afraid anymore. I used to always be so afraid of that. Why was I always so afraid of it? And why am I not afraid of it anymore? I told her, I was like, when you start to care for yourself outrageously, when you truly start to love yourself, you don't fear certain things anymore. I used to be so afraid of losing people that I would do whatever just so I wouldn't lose them. Now I don't give a fuck. I'm not afraid to lose a person. One of the things that's really helped me with that is my relationship with my mom. When I stopped being a Jehovah's Witness, she and I no longer have a relationship. My mom is alive and well. I've mentioned this to you guys before. I've been in Nashville 5 years. She's never attempted to come visit me. She doesn't call unless something is, like someone's died, like she think I should know about it. And those conversations are, this person has died, this is where they are. Every now and again she'll go, are you being safe during, this pandemic? And I'll just text her back, yes. That's it. There's never a how you doing, none of that. I stayed a Jehovah's Witness for years. Miserable. Dear God, I hated it. Y'all don't understand how much I hated it. But I knew when I left that I would lose her, and I would lose that life that I had, those people that were in my life before. And there were years after I left that I would wake up in a cold sweat, longing for my mom, wanting to talk to her, crying, sad, bawling, thinking that I should go back to be Jehovah's Witness so I could have that relationship again. But there was always something inside of me that would not do it. Losing that losing someone while they're still alive is very difficult. It's literally the best thing that's happened to me though, because I'm not afraid of losing anyone or anything. I know I will always be okay. And the truth that is in me, that's not malicious, that's not unkind, that's not an asshole, the purest good part of me will always prevail. Whether I believe in God or not, I do. I will always be okay, with or without any human, with or without any job, with or without any pink sofas. I will always be okay. I'm not willing to give that pure joy up for anyone or anything. I will never stay in a conversation, a room, a job, a relationship with anyone or anything that does not serve me. And it's okay if another person changes and go, hey, Tracy, you just don't serve me no more. Unsubscribe. You have to. It's not a you ain't doing it for me no more, I'm out type of thing. No announcement needs to be made. You have to do the right thing for you always. Literally at all costs. The purest form of you will come out, and there will be a happiness and a radiance that emits from you that will be the thing that saves you. There is no outside saving you. There is only an inside of saving you. Go to therapy so you can pull it out. You have to know how important you are, and you have to care for yourself. You have to care for yourself. I was reading a story of a good friend of mine on Facebook the other day, and she was saying that she knew she had COVID, but she didn't go to the doctor. She quarantined, and even though she knew she probably should have, she didn't. Her son had it too, and she just allowed herself to become more and more sick. And she knew she should have gone, but she didn't. She has 2 kids, and so she called her ex-husband, and he took off work immediately and came to check on her and his son. And when he got there, he was like, "You need to go to the hospital." So he took her to the hospital, and she was in the hospital for days. She was literally dying. She was dying. She couldn't breathe. She had no blood pressure. Her fever was through the roof. She couldn't hardly breathe. But she was trying to be strong. We got to redefine this bullshit. We got to redefine this shit. Listen. Weakness is not taking care of yourself. That's weakness. You are the most important thing. She was so focused on being a mom and trying to take care of her children, which I get. I'm not putting her down. First of all, I'm not putting her down for 1 second. I'm sharing this story because we do this all the time. She was about to be gone from the earth, not taking care of herself. You can't do that, y'all. You can't do that. You got to take care of yourself. Speaking back about why a few seconds ago when I was talking about going to the doctor and outrageously caring for myself and not talking about it, just being about it. So I had a CAT scan done the other day because I have to go have a procedure done on October 1st. And so he wanted to have the CAT scan done so he can see what was going on and everything. And he sent me an email and said that in my first CAT scan last year, there were several things that they were watching. And this CAT scan that I had a year later, he said one of the anomalies has corrected itself. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that one of the anomalies is no longer there or has corrected itself, because of the outrageous care that I've been giving to myself. It has been hard as hell to put myself first and to make me a true priority, but I've done it anyway. It gets easier every day, but the strength is that I am determined to do it. I don't give a damn what nobody think, feel, or say about this self-care journey. Tracy's gonna take care of herself. I'm gonna do it at all costs. Doesn't matter to me. At all costs, I'm gonna take care of myself. You have got to take care of yourself. You are important. You are valuable. You are worthy. You have got to take care of yourself. I told y'all this video was gonna be random. Maybe I'll put this up, maybe I won't. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, beautiful.